All right, it's the rundown. It is April 4th. I'm joined by White Sox Dave, Nikki Smokes here in the Dog Walk studio recording today. We got a construction project going on downstairs. This episode of the rundown brought to you by NASCAR.
Love it.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Martinsville is the race this weekend. Smallest track on the circuit. A little over a half mile in length, so you know guys are going to be bobbing and weaving, taking risks, trying to get find those little small size. And because of that size and tight corners and unique shape, Martinsville offers some of the most exciting and close quarters racing in the sport. Don't miss the action. It's large, it's Spider, it's Frank the Tank.
Wow.
They're all going to be in attendance for the Cookout 400. I could not dream up a better crew to be there on the ground for the Cookout 400.
Yeah, Spider's a little prick, but he's awesome company.
Yeah.
And especially when he's in his element at NASCAR. Like, I don't know NASCAR like I know any other sport really, but in the limited experience I've had with it, especially at the street race last year.
Yeah.
Awesome time.
We're going, the Barstool Chicago crew and a couple others, we're going for the Nashville race this year. So the Chicago last year, that was my first real NASCAR experience, even though it was torrential downpour. It was still a very cool event. I'm excited to see like an actual track. Like that'll be the full NASCAR experience. So that's coming up in June. Again, Martinsville. You can catch the Martinsville race Sunday, April 7th. So just 3 days away at 3 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock our time here on Fox Sports 1. And make sure to watch the NASCAR documentary Full Speed on Netflix. So Netflix has been killing it with sports documentaries. Doing it with NASCAR seems very natural. And then, I can't Rubbin is racing. That's a good crew. And large on the ground at something called the Cookout 400. He's
sounds dangerous.
The number one food guy at the company, more than Chef Donnie, more than Wonton, more than Dante. I trust Large's taste buds more than anything. He likes food. He likes NASCAR. Make sure you're checking it out.
I can't wait to see Frank the Tank ripping the Mets while like the NASCAR cars are just flying. I hate the Mets.
Yeah. Maybe Frank needs a NASCAR. Yeah. Just pick a driver and hope for the
I don't
best.
think the drivers want that though.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want that pressure.
Can you imagine that in your ear? Yeah. As you're going around. Shut up, Frank. All right. Speaking of an event that happens on Saturday, the semifinals, March Madness, UConn big plane delay.
Yep.
So there's a lot of people chirping around like, oh, is the NCAA out to get UConn? So they were supposed to take off at 6 Eastern to land in Phoenix for the Final Four. Didn't get there till 6 a.m. Do you think that's a big that'll impact them? The game's not until Saturday.
This is for the men's team, correct? Okay, because I really only watched the women's team, but based off what I've heard from the men's team is that they're so fucking good that it doesn't matter who you put out there. I think they'll be fine with the plane delay. I think just based off what Big Cat told me, their closest win margin was 13 points, and that was last year's Final Four against Miami. So they could pull in 10 minutes before the game, and I still think they go out there and handle business.
Get off the bus and steamroll. This will be the third program I've said this on, and obviously I don't have the best basketball acumen, but this is the best college basketball team I think I've ever seen. I know that like Kentucky team that beat Wisconsin a handful of years ago, or lost to Wisconsin, that was like 39-0. I know there's been better records. I think this team is going to get off the bus and win by 50 if they want.
Well, and they're 10 deep. Like that's the thing. So it's like, oh, like our starting five didn't sleep on the flight. Well, put in find 5 guys. I got 2 hours of sleep. Yeah, and they'll be fine. Every time like that Illinois game, they sub out the big guy. They got another one coming right behind him. It's just like this guy's got 2 fouls. Doesn't matter. We got another guy.
That Illinois game was the first time I actually watched UConn because I was going to the bar and everyone obviously up here they went to Illinois. That team is built different. That center that they have is a fucking problem.
And he only plays like a little over 20 minutes a game.
Yeah,
what?
Like
because they're so deep.
And he's had like injury problems, so they're just trying to keep him fresh and healthy. And he dominates.
I think he'll swallow up Edie or whatever his name is.
Edie's good.
No, Edie's good, but like that kid on UConn is good enough to like offset him where it's not like Edie's just manhandling him for 40 points.
I do feel like Edie gets all these calls because he's going up against like kind of smaller guys. He can swing his elbows around. He gets like guys just get their hands and arms in awkward positions like trying to defend him. I feel like he hasn't faced a legit NBA type center maybe ever. So I'm excited to see what that looks like if that happens, if that matchup happens.
I'm trying to think if that's a correct statement. Like Northwestern's got a 7.
It's directionally correct.
Yeah, it's correct enough, but it doesn't matter. NCAA could give them the MJ poison pizza treatment, and they'd win by fucking 20 if they wanted to.
Yep. Next topic. This one is one of those headlines that it feels
wild,
feels fake. Tiger Woods is abstaining from sex to get ready for the Masters. Here's a quote from Tiger Woods from a friend of Tiger Woods. He's focused. He's working really hard in the gym. He's eating right. He's even eliminated sex. He does that now when he's preparing no sex until the tournament is over. He doesn't want to take anything away from his focus.
Better late than never.
Yeah. But this is one of those things. Like when he was on top of the world, he was fucking anything that moved.
Yeah, but it also cost him his career too.
Not really. He won the Masters afterward, all that shit.
Yeah, but like he was never the same after Elin took that 7-iron to his dome.
Yeah,
of course. Now I'll say this on this.
Do you think it's just blowjobs?
What? Yeah.
Well, like, Tiger's like, I'll get head.
Is he cranking stick? Is he releasing the testosterone? Like that's a whole nother debate. Now, if he eliminated it all, I'd be like, okay, maybe Tiger's gonna play with a little extra juice. But if he's still getting slopped or cranking stick, he might as well just be fucking.
No, because that's a workout.
Yeah, but you could also just lay there and just have her do the work.
You might as well just get head at that point.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's the key. If he's got a Denny's waitress that's like servicing him, then I don't care about this quote.
Yeah,
if he's like soaking in all his juices and keeping that testosterone for the tournament, then that's a different animal.
I will say this: if this quote is true, and we'll just assume that it is for all intents and purposes, he better win this by like 12 strokes. Like you can't say something like that or have a quote leaked or have someone say it, or you can't hear this as like he has to win.
I mean,
by 1,000 strokes.
I also don't know when this quote was from, but the Masters is still like a week away.
Yeah.
So if he's having no release for 2.5, that's a long time. That's a long time with no cum.
The thing with Tiger is
sex addict.
What holds him back, like he looks good the first 2 days, but once he starts walking that course on the third day, he starts walking with a little limp. I don't know if him not fucking is going to help that.
Yeah. Lighten up your balls, dude.
Yeah,
Lighten them up.
Let it go. Let that tension out, brother.
But yeah, no stone left unturned. This is about longevity at this point. When Brady started getting into his 40s, that's when he started doing all the weird massages, no eating tomatoes, all that kind of stuff.
I bet Tiger's a weirdo like that too.
I could see that.
You think Brady was fucking during his Super Bowl runs?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Had to be, right?
Yeah.
You kidding me?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Like during the season, I feel like he'd be that kind of nut that doesn't do it.
He'll be like, I'll fuck you on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Next topic. Man who catches Shohei Ohtani's first home run as a Dodger trades it in for next to nothing. So it was against the Giants last night. His first home run. The man who caught the ball agreed to exchange the home run ball with Ohtani for a different ball, 2 hats, and a bat. Some people say that he was fleeced, and last year Ohtani had a foul ball sold for $15,000. Just a foul ball. It was a signed foul ball.
Well, if everything we know is correct and a signed foul ball did sell for $15,000, the people who think that this guy was fleeced, they're correct. He was fleeced.
Yeah, I would say.
It's not some conspiracy. He was
somebody
fleeced.
paying $15,000 for a signed foul ball is preposterous.
That just might be of blowing the market value out of the water to the point where it's like this, you found a dumb buyer. Yeah. Sweet, good for you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he got fleeced. Who the fuck?
Did they specify which ball they gave him? Like maybe they gave him Ohtani's first hit as a Dodger. Maybe they gave him something along those lines. Maybe a ball that has some type of value.
I would bet that it was probably signed, just some random BP ball that was signed or something.
But I feel like that alone would go for $5-6 grand.
Yeah, maybe
the Ohtani baseball.
If it's a signed ball, 2 signed hats, and a signed bat, it probably covers that, right? Wouldn't you think?
15 bands. I'd say so.
I don't understand the memorabilia people.
They're weirdos.
Yeah, I've never cared. I had one autograph in my life. I got it, like my dad got it for me on a plane. He saw Allen Iverson, and this is when Allen Iverson was at Georgetown, so he was like my favorite when I was like 8. And that's the only autograph I ever had. It's the only like real memorabilia I have. Like I don't
And I feel like if you're like a memorabilia collector, I feel like after a month, you're done looking at it. The only reason why you keep collecting is when people come to your house, you're like, hey, come check out my collection. And then you get like that rush, like you're seeing it again for the first time. Yeah. But other than that, like because I used to collect shit all the time and like it just ends up sitting in my closet.
That is like sneaky the most awkward feeling when someone's like, let me show you my signed whatever. And then
you have to act like you care.
Oh, amazing.
Wow, that's
I got a signed Muhammad Ali boxing glove. You wouldn't say that's cool?
Cool.
Nice. But like that's it.
I got it for $10 at a garage sale on the autographs. Like it was with.
You think it's real?
It was with it is real. I got the certificate. It's just the autograph. It was signed with the Sharpie, and it's so old and had so much sun on it. It's like faded away.
Can you even see it?
You can see it, but it's worthless. That's all I got.
All right, next topic. I'm very interested in what my guy WSD has to say about this one. Gen Z is ditching traditional four-year colleges in favor of learning trades. Increasing numbers of Gen Z are opting out of college and turning to vocational schools with hopes of higher wages and avoiding student debt. I think this is just smart. National Student Clearinghouse recorded a 16% increase in enrolled in two-year schools with vocational program focus, as well as 23% increase in students studying construction trades than the year prior. A Gallup poll has found that a share of Americans who trusted higher education has fallen from 57 to 36% since 2015. What do you have to make of that, Dave?
Yeah, it makes it. I'm glad that that's the trend because I would say that college has become a scam.
Yep.
Obviously, if you're going to be a lawyer, doctor, high finance, whatever,
engineer, yeah.
It is necessary. A standard liberal arts degree is completely fucking worthless. It's going to be insanely expensive. You're going to graduate with no fucking job lined up most of the time.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Even if you do have a job lined up, you're not going to be working there in a few years, and you accrue from the day you graduate, 6 months after you graduate, basically a mortgage worth of debt, a home mortgage worth of debt, and it's like pay that off the next 40 years and die.
Smokes.
Yeah, I mean, as someone who just got out of college, one of the most depressing days of my life is when they sent my degree, and it was just this little stupid sheet of paper rolled up. I opened it. I literally chuckled, rolled it back up, threw it back in the thing they gave it. I just threw it in my closet. I think it's the biggest scam, as Dave said. If you're not being a doctor, if you're not being a lawyer, it's the biggest scam. The only reason why people are itching to go to college is so they could get out of their parents' house, get fucked up, and slam as many chicks as they can in a 4-year window. Like back in the day, college was this thing that was like glorified, look up to. Oh, if you went, you were doing something. Now everyone's going to college. You don't even have to go on campus to go to college at a university.
Yeah, true.
They'll still charge basically the same rate.
And they charge you the exact same rate. I could tell you that right now. So I'm happy that Gen Z is doing this. I think this is a smart way. My sister asked me like, hey, what do you think? I talked to her, said, hey, what do you want to do? I'm like, well, you don't really need college for that. Like, you should go to a trade school, do that. And it actually led to a job that had something to do with what she learned. I went to school for sports management, and I was selling health insurance after college. Yeah. Like, so, and then I got lucky enough to win a job, and I win a bet, and I ended up here.
Yeah.
But yeah, 90%.
Right where you should be.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
90% of the people, though, that go to school for whatever it is, they don't even have a job in that field. So it's like you spent all this money, you took all these classes, you learned all these things, and you can't apply them to anything because you're doing something. Yeah, you're not learning shit.
We have an antiquated...
I fundamentally disagree. I think it is a scam now. I think it's wildly overpriced, but I do think that they're, like you say, liberal arts degree. I have a liberal arts degree. I think that is, if it's done right, it's insanely valuable.
If it's done right, but it's
not
done right. Especially nowadays, because when you guys, I mean, you were born in '86. I just found that out today.
Thanks for bringing that up.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
I don't know how prevalent the internet was during your time, but nowadays everything's online. Like all the assignments have already been done.
What a fucking ass! I don't know if you had the internet. Yeah, I fucking had the internet.
I didn't know how developed it was.
Yeah,
but now like you pay $15 a month for a service, and all the assignments that the teachers will give you, they're already done. You copy, paste it, throw it in Chat GPT. They change the words around, and you just get A's.
Yeah, and the thing here is that for most people, there's no ROI.
Right.
There's no return on investment of your education. It's a 4-year extended adolescence where, like you said, you run around slamming chicks and getting
see, that's the thing. If you
which is valuable life experience.
It is. It is though.
Great experience.
Yeah. if your parents are paying for it, go to college. If you have no student debt, my parents, we had 5 kids in college at the same time. Like, you guys are all on your own. If we can't pay for one and not the others, like, it's do what you want. Figure it out. And but they don't warn you either. And you get into college as an 18-year-old and you think, oh, 4 years down the road, that's forever from now. That's 100 years down the road. I don't care about that money. Care about that money.
Everybody jumps on me when I say this, and they're like, oh, I think that there should be an intense audit on every single public university. So University of Illinois, whatever it is, that's a state entity, and be like, where the fuck is this money going? And because where the money is going, it's not to better the school, it's not to better the student experience. It just goes to administrators, and they sit on these billions of dollars in trust endowments and trust funds, and it's like, well, you just keep jacking up the tuition because it has become like you can't. There was a period where you can't get any job without it, right? Which that to me is just fucking wrong too. And I will say, like, people, like, even if let's say that you're like a very smart entrepreneurial person, you get into the trades. There's nothing. Like, if you're very competent, you're going to make a very good living doing whatever you want. You can start your own business. You can do a lot of things. So I think that this is a good move by Gen Z. And eventually, if it's like a market reality where you have all these people, a 36% increase in these vocational schools, the colleges, the 4-year universities are going to have to finally adjust. Because it would be, hey, we're not attracting the same level of students that we used to, or the same numbers of students that we used to. We need to be able to do that, so we need to change or offer something different. I hope that ends up being the case.
We'll see. I mean, it's follow the money, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, if colleges, which these numbers suggest will happen, are going to start losing a lot of money, then they're going to have to shift, and hopefully that is in a direction where they actually care about what they're teaching their students, because I think that's become lost too. In the end, I would just recommend everybody go read Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki.
Did you ever end up?
Have you read it?
Yeah, I read it.
Oh, you did. Okay.
I read it.
Does it change your life?
It gave me a new perspective, but I haven't applied any of the principles because I still work for money instead of having work for me.
You used to say that line all the time.
Yeah,
I want to make my money work for me.
I don't know. I don't know anything about stock investing.
I got time. I still don't even know. Like, I have a 401k, but I don't even know what it is, what it does. I don't know if I should stop it.
Forget it. No.
Don't touch it.
Don't touch it. Just don't ever look at it.
Now, you are younger. If you want to put it into more aggressive funds, that's probably a good idea.
I need to get a financial advisor. I'm financially illiterate.
He read Rich Dad Poor Dad. Have him do it.
Oh, yeah. He's got me for sure.
He's got
and Cash Flow Quadrant, his next book in the series.
Nice. Very nice. All right.
Actually, see,
switching gears to something more in our wheelhouse.
Yep.
Buffalo Bills. So big trade yesterday. Stephon Diggs goes to Houston. Their offense looks incredible for a 2nd-round pick and 2 day 3 draft picks. That you're saying the window's closed.
Yeah, the window is absolutely closed.
See,
let's go back to Buffalo's history in the 90s. 4 straight Super Bowls, right? No Super Bowl wins. They've had Josh Allen since 2018. How many times have they made it to the Super Bowl, Dave?
None.
Not one time. So why are we acting like they trade Gabe Davis, they trade Stephon Diggs? Name a receiver. Who's Josh Allen throwing to?
They're trading up to number 9. And
let me know. Let me know. They're not going to trade up to 9.
A lot of people are saying that.
Diggs is over $30 million in dead cap hit. They can't afford anyone.
Yeah,
it's still dead cap.
Still the dead cap.
It's still dead cap. Like they are butt broke. When they had all the stars aligned, top 10 defense for the last 4 years, they didn't make it to 1 Super Bowl. Now they trade their 2 best receivers, and Josh Allen is stuck with 2 trash bags, and they're losing players left and right. You think this window is open when you have Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert now has a head coach.
You only needed to say one name.
Patrick Mahomes. As long as he's playing, no one's window is open. And your Super Bowl window for any team is 4 to 5 years unless you have Patrick Mahomes or if you were Tom Brady and the Patriots fucking when they went on their run. No team has a 10-year Super Bowl window. That's not a thing anymore. The Bills' window is 100,000,000% closed, and it's not a debate.
It's not. They got Josh Allen. If you have like an all-pro, I know he doesn't have anybody to throw to this year. Maybe they do trade up. Maybe they do find competent pieces to replace those guys eventually. But he's 27 years old and is a top 5 quarterback. So your window's not closed. It might be like It might be a tough squeeze this year.
Yes, he's top 5.
People said that about, not to this degree, but with the Chiefs, when it's like, oh, what are they going to do without Tyreek Hill? And they don't stretch the field anymore. They can't do any of that.
They won a Super Bowl.
I know, but that was the sentiment. That was the talking point. Like, no Tyreek.
And they looked like shit a little bit early in the year.
That was the talking point this year.
Yeah,
but that's Patrick Mahomes, brother. That's
I understand
that he squashed that narrative, but the narrative still exists.
And the Bills still have Sean McDermott. He is not a good NFL head coach. When it comes to the fourth quarter, he shits down his leg every single time. I watch the Bills. They're in my division. I know this team. I am their fan base's biggest villain. Like, I watch them. I know what they are. They got a little Dolphins Marino to them where, yeah, you got this great quarterback, but you can't build the team around him, and you're not going to win the Super Bowl. Now, maybe they go out, get a head coach that's a little more innovative that can bring the best out of each player. Sure, like what Andy Reid does for the Chiefs. But right now, with Sean McDermott and the lack of weapons that they have, there's no reason for anyone to be like, oh, yeah, the Bills are contenders when you got Joe Burrow, you got Lamar Jackson, you got Patrick Mahomes, you got Justin Herbert, even the Dolphins in there. Like, the AFC is so deep. Now, if they were on the NFC, sure, they got life to make a run, even with a little shitty roster. But to say that they could go through the AFC without weapons is fucking crazy.
But like, to say that the window is closed, I also think it's crazy. You don't know, like, the ability to turn over rosters in the NFL is it can happen pretty quick, and it happens all the time. So if you have Josh Allen locked up at 27 years old, yeah, maybe you backslide a little bit, like one step backwards, 2 step forward situation. I think that is possible. How old is Stephon Diggs?
30. No, he's on the wrong side of 30.
Right. So they were going to have to replace him eventually anyways. They probably sold earlier than Josh Allen would have liked, but now you recoup that second round pick. There's a very deep wide receiver draft. I don't think I don't think they're going to be as good in 2024 as they were in 2023 without Steph Diggs, but I don't think that means the window in 2025 and going forward is closed.
This was their window with Stephon Diggs, all the boys. This is their window now. I'm shutting it. Yours might be here. If it's open, it's this fucking open.
Yeah.
They had all the boys. They had all the weapons. They even had Patrick Mahomes in Buffalo in the playoffs, and they still lost the fucking game.
Right. Patrick Mahomes I think the Patrick Mahomes factor is a way bigger issue for their window than losing Steph Diggs.
Yeah. Sure. But that just closes the window even more.
I think it's closed in 24. Beyond that, I think they're still going to be a relevant team. I still think that they could probably win the division this year. No offense.
I mean, I don't care. It's us, them, and the Jets. All 3 teams are good. If Rodgers plays all 17, the Jets will be in the mix. Buffalo's route to being the AFC East champs every single year is a lot more difficult than it used to be. Even last year, if the Dolphins had a fucking ball sack on them and took care of business at home, we would have won the division. But we shit down our leg like we always do, and we gave them the division. Now you factor in the Jets, who still find a way to win 7, 8, 9 games with fucking Zach Wilson. If Rodgers plays all 17, that's another double-digit win team right there. So now you have 3 double-digit teams. So even if the Bills squeak in, they might be a wild card, have to go to KC, have to go to Baltimore on the road early, and it's not an easy path. And I don't know. Yes, Josh Allen's good. They will be relevant. I am just telling you, they've had him since 2018. They've given him a top 10 defense. They gave him Stephon Diggs, and they still couldn't do shit. So why, when they lose these players, do you think, oh, their window's still open? It is not fucking open. It's closed.
Yeah, I think because I know how rosters turn over.
Okay, we'll see.
Like, I agree that this is a step backwards. But it might help them in the long run.
Josh Allen's window is wide open. The Bills is closed.
Are you okay? Sure.
He needs to go to
2024. Oh, I don't know about that.
It won't happen, but it should.
Do you think that this move puts the Texans in a place where they can compete with Mahomes?
Absolutely.
Okay.
1,000%. What I saw from C.J. Stroud this year as a rookie was unbelievable. They got him, Nico, Tank, Stephon Diggs. This team is loaded. Yeah. Like, they are fucking good. They got a mean defense. Their head coach did a phenomenal job. Houston's a problem.
Yeah. The AFC's low.
AFC's low. And all those teams I named, I didn't even name the Texans.
Didn't even name the Texans.
You throw them in there.
Didn't name Joe Burrow.
Didn't name Joe Burrow either. That's what I'm saying. It's not like their window is closed, brother.
Yeah, no, he named Harbaugh.
Did he name Harbaugh?
Yeah.
I got a question.
Yeah, I'm glad the Bears are in the NFC.
Would you have traded a second for Diggs or a fourth for Allen?
Second for Diggs.
I don't know.
Keenan's always hurt, man.
He just set his career high in yards. Yeah, he missed a couple games, played 14 games, still set a career. I think at 1,300 yards.
Okay, but now look at the 2 years before that. He's always hurt. I draft him in fantasy every single year. He's always hurt.
I think him being a number 2, like the Bears have sneaky so many weapons. And like Bears, first of all, Bears didn't have a second round pick to trade. That's part of the equation. But yeah, I think
they didn't at the time, right?
Yeah. But no, I like Keenan Allen a lot. I think he's a great fit.
I think he's really good. Don't get me wrong.
Like a young quarterback, and
what? He was hurt 1 year.
No, he's hurt.
He always has little nicks. Like he never. I
mean, he's had 100 catches for.
I'm not knocking his production. I think he's good. I just said I think Stephon Diggs is better, and he gives you more games. Keenan Allen's a great pick.
Yeah, no, I'd agree there. Like in a vacuum, probably Steph Diggs is awesome. Keenan Allen.
How many more years does Steph Diggs have?
I mean,
I think Allen has more years than Steph Diggs.
They're like the same age.
On their contract?
Oh no, I was talking about like their career.
Oh, because this is the last year of Keenan Allen's contract.
Yeah,
which is also kind of a good thing too.
Right.
Yeah, because if it doesn't work, you don't.
Yeah.
Or it's like, hey, we like you, we want you to stay, not at that number.
Right.
Don't you want to be here with? We're onto something here. Yeah. I do think the Bears are onto something.
I think they're onto something. They might be onto something.
I think the Bears are going to be great.
Yeah. Would you rather have? Let's say the Bears get a Dunze at 9. Let's just say. Would you rather have? Or Neighbors, pick one of those receivers.
Yeah.
Would you rather have DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, and the rookie?
You think you're going to draft a receiver at 9?
Oh, I think it's very possible. Yeah.
Why?
It's very possible. Give it.
I think they go
really have to. Nah, if Joe Alt falls, they will. But if outside of that, I don't think they'll take an O line.
I don't think the Bears draft a receiver at all.
I think you're very.
They might not.
You think they're going to waste a number 9 pick on a wide receiver 3?
Yeah, well, if it's 1 year, yeah. Especially if it's 1 year of Keenan Allen.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
But I think they'll either go. I think it could trade out, but I think it'll either be a wide receiver or an edge. And I don't think an offensive lineman or a tight end, because I know Brock Bowers isn't. I don't think they'll go that route at all. So I would be stunned if Joe Alt falls to 9. You sprint to the podium, get your left tackle forever.
Right.
But outside of that, I don't want the Oregon State kid. I don't want the Penn State kid. I don't want the Washington kid. Like, give me Rome Odunze or Malik Neighbors, and let's fucking light up scoreboards for once.
That's one thing. Like 1 year in our entire existence, at least from my memory, I don't remember the 90s as much. Have the Bears had like an explosive offense?
It was one. Yeah,
just 1 year ever.
It was and after that, it's all Brandon Marshall.
Right. Hire an offensive coordinator.
Yeah, we did. We got Seattle's, the guy who made Geno Smith into
look amazing,
competent quarterback.
All right, well, that's a good step. I mean, I think you guys know how I feel about Caleb Williams. I think he'll be one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Instantly.
I think no one's ever walked into a better situation. All right, anything else from you guys? Do you care that Dave called you an idiot?
No, I don't care that he called me an idiot. He's just talking out of his ass. And the funniest part to me is just him using a word that's not even a real word to call me dumb.
Yeah.
Like, come on, David. Like, you're worth $500 million. If you're gonna call me dumb, use a word that's actually fucking real. That's all I gotta say.
He said like
incomprehensibly. It's not a real word. I'll pull it up.
Incomprehensible.
That's what he tried to say. Incompressibly. That's what he called me.
Yeah,
it was the incompressibly dumb Nicky Smokes who wrote it. Not a word, David, but
incomprehensibly.
Yeah.
Is what he was
maybe next time.
Yeah. All right. That's the rundown.